Working? Yes. Good. Okay, now we can actually start. Yeah, as I said, we are the Timber team, and of course one of our members, Susanna, couldn't be here today, and but she's here in spirit. And my name is Sophie, and I'm from Stockholm. And we have.
I'm Lisa from Gothenburg.
I'm Francesca from Italy, Florence, but I live in Sweden.
So how did 4 people end up together, like an Italian stud and a Gothenburger, a Stockholmer, and Susanna, who's Polish? Well, we've been working together for the last 2 weeks, and we've been working together even before that, but in this setting it's been for 2 weeks. And we actually wanted to create something to actually connect families. So it's actually started out with an idea of of creating a family tree. So this is kind of like the first time we sat down, we actually went in, and yeah, I know this is actually my family tree, and that's my brother, and he's sitting over there. So we got some inspiration, but then we started talking more about what problem we should actually solve with this. And we kind of changed a little bit. So we want to actually build a social media platform for families, that they can actually share their albums, especially nowadays when people don't print out photos anymore, which is very sad. And also families, we have Facebook and we have Instagram, but it actually doesn't work really like that. And a lot of people don't want to put pictures online of their kids because it's too personal. So we wanted to change this and actually start a social media platform for families. So families can be connected and they can share everything from birthday parties to weddings. Yes, so that's how it all started. Oops. Oops. Okay.
Yeah, so this slide is about the design process. We start each project with a design sprint, and it took around a weekend for us for a two-week job, where we go through the entire application through a user's perspective, and this lets us derive all our user stories that we need, and then we create lo-fis based on our user stories, and then we're able to break down each story into different tickets, that we call them, and then we create tasks based off of these stories. So in this design sprint, we set the stage for what's to come, the following design sprint, which in our case was 2 weeks, and then we just keep going on designing something very simple without design. It's all about function in this sense, and we try to involve the client here also if we had one. So every stakeholder should be a part of this session, and it also lets us arrive at an MVP so that we don't go beyond what we set our goal to be. So this is a very effective way to set a goal and actually arrive at that goal. And our workflow ties nicely into this. We use an agile process where we work incrementally and result-oriented. We learn to easily adapt to change using this agile process, and we take turns with being Scrum Masters, so that we all can democratically lead the entire team to the finish line. And we also use pair programming in Craft Academy, and it's the first time for me doing that, and it's just been a big part of the flow, and really like we leverage it on each other, and just seems like work could be more interesting this way. And also, like, this is a picture of all our tools that we decided to use based on our initial design sprint, and yeah, a bunch of tools that Francesco will tell you a bit
Yeah.
later.
Definitely. I think that Scott and Alfred made like an amazing job before, like explaining the basics of what we do. So I'll try to go a level below and really make it like as simple as possible. When we started coding for this application, of course, we challenged ourselves and we wanted to implement React. So the first 2 days we tried with a new language, basically, that we didn't learn during the course. And we had to pivot like after 2 days because it wasn't possible to move on. So what we basically developed our application on is Ruby on Rails. That is just a framework based on the language that we learned in our camp, that is Ruby. Basically what Ruby on Rails is the structure of the building of what we are building. And then like you basically start with the blueprint of your building, and then you decide what the user that entering your building, what kind of interaction they're going to have inside the building. And these are core features, you know, so if the user wants to log in, wants to sign up, wants to upload a picture, this is actually a different feature. So you can see it as the user walking in the building and deciding to do something. Of course, to do that, like to actually implement even a single feature, you have to go through the blueprint of what you built from the start, because everything is going to literally touch every line of code of what you started building in the beginning. So it's, you know, to do that, it's a process that you have to do like through little things called gems mostly, and you go and install them on Ruby on Rails. And these gems are actually the features. So one gem will help you to make the user able to be sign up or log in. And to do that, like you know, to make them work properly, of course you have to test them. And to test them, it's really another work, because it's you basically have to create like different environments for your building. And like the first environment is literally a test environment. So you think about what the user will do when enters in your building, and you have to actually test that he doesn't, you know, bang his head when he's trying to open the door because the door is not opening. So how do we do that? Like, Sophie can tell you more about it.
Yeah. So let's just move on a little bit. Yeah. So what we have learned here at Craft Academy is that everything starts with a test. So before actually getting into the coding, we actually start with writing some tests. And in the beginning, it was kind of hard to do it that way, but now it's kind of a safety zone for us. So we rely a lot on our tests. So we used Cucumber for acceptance test, and we're going to have a look at that later, and RSpec for testing Ruby. So I'm going to showcase that for you. We also have coveralls. Maybe Francesco wants to talk about coveralls a bit.
Yeah, because basically what coveralls does, it goes through all your tests, and then it creates a percentage of how much your tests are working. So you know, I actually discovered what coveralls was doing a few days ago, and I went nuts because it was like 69%. So every day at night I was trying to raise the percentage of how well our platform is actually working. So we reached 100%, and now I'm really you know, happy man because of that. But it's really cool because it builds up on the other tools that we use to test our platform. You know, so I was particularly in love with coveralls the last few days until we reached the 100%.
That's actually a huge deal to reach 100%.
Yeah.
And then of course, yesterday I broke it. I took away 2%, and then.
No, it's back to 100%. So we are perfect.
But now we're back. Yeah. So we what Lisa talked about during the design sprint. We actually have a look at, like, from the user's perspective, like how, like, a user goes into our application and what does it actually want to do. So we've written some stories here. We have a lot of this Simpson references because they're like obviously a famous family, and so we've written them more like a long story. And then when we actually started to test with Cucumber, we could just pick out little features. So this is user can send invite to another user via email. So this is actually the way we test it, and it's pretty cool because it's more like writing a story and testing that everything in the story actually happens. So this is kind of how it looks when we have the code here, the implemented code. We're having a background, we have a scenario. You can build these in some different ways, and then this is how it looks in the terminal when we actually test it. So hopefully you get a lot of greens. Sometimes you get a red or 20 or something. But the red, when it actually gives you an error, is so much easier to go into your code and actually find like what is happening, why is it breaking, or as we usually do, we actually start with the code and then we actually have to implement step by step. So it's really something that feels safe, and now we have 359 tests, I think,
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, I can do a rake while we're sitting here, so I can see.
See, and this command rake like does both the tests we talked about, like
Yeah.
the RSpec and the.
Yeah.
I can say cucumber, so I always say cucumber.
Yeah, so when we do a rake, we just make sure that all the tests that we have are actually working. So, well, I think they are, will now. So it's pretty
This
cool.
is RSpec, so the first one, it's more specific to actually, that actually they show up the information that we want to search for. And then there are what Sophie was talking about, the actual stories that get tested in the background. So you can see like the user clicks in to log in and so on. And it's, yeah, as you can see, like, especially when it's all green, it's very satisfying because you actually produce these. And then you can see, like, okay, when it's over and you see actually 348,
Yes.
we really created every line of, of these 348 tests, we really created one by one. So, especially for when you work on this and you reach the end of this process, you really feel relieved. Like today we are really relieved that they're all green, but like maybe tomorrow if we implement a feature, something's gonna go red, but not only for the last one, but even to the other related, because as I told you, everything is connected. So it's always, it's really nice, to test things all together.
Yeah, and it's also good because when you actually have a lot of files with a lot of code to be able to actually pinpoint where it can be. Sometimes it's really hard, but going green is a great feeling because sometimes you sit with an error and it's red and you sit with it for 5 hours and you want to jump out the window. So this is the RSpec that I mentioned as well. So we're going like it's unit tests. So we can see here we're actually having the test, and we're testing here for a user that a user actually has an email attached to it and a first name and an encrypted password, and then we run the test in the terminal and hopefully everything gets green. So it's more like little units. You can test associations, validations, to actually test it out perfectly. Yes, so this is our app, how it looks today, and I'm actually going to demo it for you, and so we can see how it works. And no. Yes?
Yeah, it should be. Wait.
No.
Check if you didn't stop the
No, but
sharing
now
the
it's,
screen.
now it's bright. So I actually,
No,
because
wait,
I don't-
Wait. You're not sharing the screen.
what?
Let's see you.
There's always some problem. Wait a second.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah. So we made a little demo for this one because obviously I don't trust technology at all. So
You
this
should
is
not.
a user comes here, and so it obviously can sign up. So this is a first-time user. So this is Lisa, and she's putting in her email, and then she's adding her first name, and she's putting in a password and a confirmation, and also a family name. So she needs to belong to a family, because this is actually a family platform. So she signs up, and welcome Lisa. And the first thing she wants to do is take away that ugly default profile picture. So she wants it to be a little bit more personal. And now she's finding it, and she's editing her profile. So because you also have to put in your password, obviously, to edit your profile. And there it is. So now she has her nice profile picture. And you can also see it now on the nav bar as well. And then she wants to, she wants to invite someone to her family. And she's inviting me. like even though I'm not in her family. So I just send an invite, and then she's going to start with creating some new albums. So you just put in a title. It's a little bit slow today. And create an album, and then you can just start adding photos to your album. So some family photos and a title as well. And you upload them. And I thought I was so quick when I did this, but I'm pretty slow. Yeah. So now she's uploaded 2 pictures, and oh, that was a big one. Yeah. And you can go to her album. And that's, well, you can go to shared albums. So the shared albums is actually where the family is connected. So all the family members can actually go in there and see their what everyone's posted and recently updated, recently added photos. Well, we can skip this part maybe. This is pretty fun. Can you double speed this? So now you have all the albums as well, and the shared albums, and then hopefully she's going to log out now. Right.
The links are working, so
Yeah, just check so the links are working. So we had, wait a second. Yeah, okay, finally she's logging out. I should have just done this in real life. And what you actually get, so she sent me an email, and then it looks something like this. If I can actually make it a little bit bigger. Hello Sophie, you have been invited to the Simpson family, and then you can actually go and accept. So you'll be a part of that family. Internet's a little bit slow.
it is random.
Yeah, but it's taking so long time. Yeah. So you just click your accept invitation, and then you can actually come here and you can just set your first name, and you add a password and a confirmation, and then you're part of the family. So if you go in here, you should see her photo albums that Lisa created. And that's it for now. We have a lot of, like, for our demo, but obviously we have a lot of features that we want to include further down the line.
Right, yeah, exactly. Because, like, of course, when you see this kind of applications, they really look like, you know, like stuff that we use every day. Everybody's using Facebook or something similar. But the work behind it is really a lot. Like even just uploading the picture, we had to basically connect it to the Amazon Web Service, and basically we are storing our picture online on the cloud, on the Amazon Web Service, and it's not, you know, so easy as when you saw like Sophie's demo. You know, it looks like everything is working fine, but the work behind every little step is a lot, and there are a lot of examples of every little that is working, that is going to hold, for example, the Amazon Web Services. So, for example, it's calling a particular gem to just log in or sign up. And you know, so what we learn is, I can't even count what we learned just even yesterday, because like every day is a huge step. We are like, even if we are doing this since 12 weeks, I feel that every day everybody is doing huge steps forward. Because either like you are learning something more from like the other pair that is working on the project, or it's you that actually, you know, solve a problem that for 2 hours you weren't even understanding what you were doing in the beginning. So you know, it's not really we can really count what happened during these 2 weeks, even just yesterday again, because the thing to learn out there are really, it's too much. And the weird thing about the coding is that even like the community is thriving, you know, so it's constantly changing. So maybe it's something that you created like today in 2 months would be outdated, because maybe there was an update and your application won't be able to work anymore. So it pushes you, you know, to get better and better every day, to take care of what you created and get better, you know. So it's like it's you know, I can't really answer this kind of question. There is not even a question mark, in fact, but you know, it's like no, it's really like it's impossible, because it's been such a huge process, and as I told you, really, even this morning before before 1 hour before the presentation, we were just doing something new, something that like we didn't do before. So it's a lot, and I would say apart from the coding, what we learned too is that, like, of course, like working in a group is really a weird experience to work in 4 or work in 2 or work in 3, because like you had to coordinate, you had to understand like how you want to work together, like if like working together with someone, being in a hangout is not so easy, you know, like you had to understand the people you're working with, you know, and it's funny because like every time we reach the end of a project, like this final project or the project before, you are really a well-oiled machine, you know. In the beginning, people just send 2 messages, you know what they mean, you start working, you coordinate, but the very first days are a mess, you know. Even if you know each other really well, everybody has a kind of a different idea of what you should build, and you know, so it's really, it's too much. We learn too much, and I love that, you know, we still gonna be learning everything, because I think everybody, especially in our group, and I think in our cohort, is in love with coding now, definitely. And for what we want to do in the future for this platform, you know, it's of course now we developed the MVP, that is the minimum viable product, so like something to present, like a demo to you, for example, today. But we would like to expand it, you know, with many other features, like people actually can be able to send messages to each other. And something similar. And then, for example, we're discussing that, of course, since it's an application for families, it would be nice to have a system that actually recognize if your uncle is sending a picture of him butt naked, because maybe there are like kids, so you don't want to actually show that picture. So we could, you know, for example, look into what Facebook is doing about, like, you know, having a technology that actually understands the images that you are uploading and maybe set that aside. So yeah, and as I told you, know, you can't really let it go, because if you want to have like an application that actually goes into production, you know, that actually people can use, you will have to check it like daily, you know, like someone will always have to see if like everything is going smoothly, if there is a new update for something that you are having on your platform. And yes, and I think, of course, from the emotional point of view, of course, we want to stay in touch in the group, to stay in touch with the other guys. So it's really important to keep it alive, to, you know, to have something to work together in the future, and to have it as a basis for other projects together. Yeah. That was it.
That was it.
Thank you. Hey, hug it out, man.
We're huggers in our group.
Wonderful, wonderful work. Any questions to the Timber team? Don't disappear, please.
Yes.
There's a Q&A thing.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
I think it was a super cool project, and something that probably a lot of people think about, sharing pictures close to your family instead of on Facebook or something. Is it possible to have more than one family on the platform?
Well, not right now, but we have that in the future. We actually want to be able to connect families and have other cool features. Actually, we thought about it a lot, but we didn't have time to actually implement everything that we wanted in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know you worked with associations like moms and dads and uncles and whatnot. Do you have a plan to connect that in some way, to make like a family tree or?
Yeah,
like
we
that?
have. Well, we kind of started with that, with the associations between like parent and children. Then we actually kind of made another turn towards the actual sharing photos. So, but we're going to actually build family trees. That's in store for us in the future.
No, I think definitely we wanted to do that, but for the MVP we stick to the one family, of course, because then creating other families, it's a huge step after. But yes, definitely we want to have more than one family. Of course.
It sounds like you guys continue to work on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will.
Yeah. Good stuff.
And then we're gonna sell it and we're gonna become millionaires.
That's what it's all about now, isn't it? Alfred, you had a question.
Yeah, I guess you in the future, or did you think about sharing videos with your family as well?
We haven't gotten that far yet, but I think like the idea that it's something we really want to do. You know, do a better job than they did on Instagram, kind of.
Say now.
But I guess we have to start making money to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone
Service
wants to,
basis.
Yeah, they're looking for investors. That's what I'm saying. This is basically not a final presentation. We lured you into a pitch. All right. All right. No, so in my opinion, full stack cloud services, user authentication, authorizations, and stuff like that. It's amazing. You know, just the fact that they are storing stuff up in the cloud. It's great. Good stuff. I'm really proud. I can't even express how proud I am.
Yeah, and Susanna,
yes.
we did it.
Yeah, Susanna.
So much love to Susanna.
Short answer, but yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.